host, Dr. Raquel Tosin, and this podcast is here to help you to experience being blessed that transcends a mere hashtag. Now, let me give my disclaimer like I always do. I'm not a preacher, prophet, or Bible scholar, but I'm a God-worshiping, Jesus-loving, Bible-believing, New Thought Christian who believes that God blesses us according to our faith and how we work His principles. So if you're ready to be encouraged, enlightened, and entertained, then you're in the right place. I am broadcasting on WYTV7 Christian Broadcasters Network, a nonprofit charitable radio broadcast with the mission to empower, educate, and encourage. So if you have been enjoying the Blessed Podcast, I need you to go and donate. Don't go to www.wytv7.org. Donate today. Thank you so much. This podcast is sponsored to you by Tosin's Publishing. So you know we have a new book, Ren's Affirmations, God is Good and So Am I. We also have a little shirt. Well, not a little, because I have one on too, but God is good and so am I. I have my shirt on now too. God is good and so am I. Yes, and so my guest today, we are in May, and we're talking to mothers. We are talking to mothers because mother is all about, May is all about mothers. It's Mother's Day, right? I mean, every day is all about mothers, in my opinion. But definitely in May, so we're talking to mothers, and my guest is Khadija Romney. And Khadija actually is also a printer, and she is the one that helped me get Ren's Affirmations done. So welcome, Khadija.
Hey, everybody. How you doing, Mama?
Look, it's so funny. When I found you on a network of women, over thousands, well, you found me, I think, too, of thousands of women, and we were able to connect. And so I'm really grateful for that. That Facebook group, because I have met some really good people because of it. So, and thank you for reaching out to me to help me with my business.
No problem. It was a pleasure. It was like, oh, okay, this is where this is going. This is great. But it was a pleasure to helping you print your book. And I'm glad you liked it.
And you like it too, because I sent you a copy. You got a copy for your son?
Yes, I actually have it right here. I have my copy.
Yes, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. So you know what? We're gonna jump right into it. Let's just start off by telling people a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Khadija Romney. I am a full-time mom. I am a full-time entrepreneur. I am a former elementary school teacher. I taught for 7 years in Miami, New York, and in Central Florida. I own a company called Planning a Better You, and it's a company where we're designed to help you become a better self, mind, business, and spirit, and we do that through our literary material. We do that through our consulting, our yearly retreats, and yeah, that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
So you know what, I find this is perfect, because where you are right now, you are in your car. And you're like, oh, I have to be in my car. And then it's just so funny. It's like, why are you in your car? Tell everybody that you are not driving. Let everybody know why you're in your car.
I am not driving because I am a full-time mom. I had to sneak away from my baby, okay? So I am hiding from my son. If he sees me, we will not get through this interview. If he smells me, I think he can smell me out. Like, he just finds me.
He can smell you. Did you breastfeed?
I did for almost 2 years.
Look, he definitely smells you. Believe that. Yes, they did smell you. I just think that's so perfect, because that's what, like, being a new mom, your baby is Samir. He's 2. So you are a new mom, basically.
Yes.
And you're an entrepreneur. And so I'm sure there's like a lot of things that you have to get kind of accustomed to, and things that you have to do differently. You may not have people that, you know, that you really can, like, your mom may not have been an entrepreneur when she was, you know, taking care of you. So she may not really get that. So I want to talk about all of that. But let's start off with the pregnancy, since you are fresh out of it. And for anybody that's out there listening who may be pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant, like seriously, pregnancy, what did you think about pregnancy?
Listen, I was terrified. I had always been scared to go into like labor. Like, I don't know how old I was when I saw like a video of a woman like pushing the baby out. I think I was too young to see that, whatever age I was, because I was traumatized. So when I got pregnant and I'm like, God, I have to push this baby out of me. I don't think I could do, like, I was scared of that. But through my pregnancy, it wasn't a bad pregnancy. It wasn't a bad pregnancy. I did a lot of transitioning through my pregnancy. I got pregnant when I was living in New York with my ex-fiance. And, the relationship was very toxic. So I was like, you know what? The self that I am now, I can't be that self as a mom. Mm-hmm. So I said, God, I need a way out. I need a way out. And before I got pregnant, God had gave me multiple ways of escape. And I still came back. And this time I'm like, okay, I'm pregnant. I can't, my son can't get this version of me. This version like sucks. I don't even know who I'm looking at in the mirror. Like, I can't give him this. So I was 5 months pregnant when I finally got the courage to pack up my bags and move back to Florida. So, and yeah, I moved back and I started, I started teaching at a middle school, 6th grade math. 5 months pregnant. Well, I taught through my entire pregnancy. I think the week before I went in, I had to go into labor, I taught. And it was, the transition was smooth, but the mental part of the transition was rough. Right. I was down a lot. Like, I was like, just really depressed, through the whole transition, goodness. Like going from
pregnancy. You have the same I mean, not exactly, of course, but yeah. I can so relate, and I'm sure some people out there. And because when you say you went through a transition, I too basically had my baby out of wedlock. The father just, it was not gonna work, and it's like, but you do kind of like, I want to be the best version of me if I'm going to be a mother. Like, I hope that parents, not just us mothers, but all parents, like, you want to be the best version of yourself for your child. It's not to put undue pressure to be perfect, but you are going to constantly be trying to learn and better yourself and grow. I mean, it's like, that's just, you change your mindset when you, yes. I think when you experience pregnancy. To me, it has a song, Me. I don't know if you ever heard that song, but it's basically, she was getting out of a relationship and she said, I choose me. And in the video, she's pregnant. And I think a lot of people go through that. It's like, they don't choose themselves, but when they start choosing themselves when a baby is about to be born, or when a baby is in the picture. I think people start to choose themselves. So thank you for being really open. I'm like, I remember I cried probably almost every day of my pregnancy when I was pregnant with my son. And I cried so much. This is the crazy part. I cried so much that when I gave birth to him, they put him on your chest, they give you the baby. I promise you, he touched my face and he looked dead in my eyes like, Ma, it's gonna be okay. Like, I promise you. And his godmother was there and we were like, is he looking at me? I mean, he put his hand on my face and he just stared in my eyes. It was crazy. So, yeah. Babies have a way of changing our lives, don't they?
Yes. My son was like a total blessing for me. Like, he made me get myself together. Like, not that so when I went into the relationship, like, I was, I was already a teacher, I had a sense of my identity, but that relationship robbed me of that. So I'm like, no, I don't recognize this person. I can't be her for my baby. I can't. And but I'm so thankful for him. I'm so thankful for my baby. I love that little boy so much.
I'm sure anybody that can save your life, you would have. I mean, then he's your hero.
Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna be his hero, but he's your hero. So tell me, because you you wanted to become a better you. Is that where your book, Becoming a Better You, came from?
Yes, it is. And it didn't start off with the book. It actually started off with my planner. So that was the very first item that I produced and I published, like I created and published. And it is called Becoming a Better You Planner. So they complement each other, the planner and the book. But yeah, that's where it derived from. It came from me going on this journey and reclaiming my life and becoming better, not just for my son, but for myself too, right? Because I have a lot in me to give people. And if you sit around me, you interact with me, you have a conversation with me, I'm going to benefit you in some type of way. I'm an asset to anybody. So in the state that I was in, I wasn't being an asset to anyone. I was more like a liability. So that book is kind of like, these are some of the things that I had to go through to become a better self. So it's not a tell-all book. It's kind of like giving you strategies and tools. Like, look, this is what I went through. This is how it looked. And these are some things that I applied. These are some steps that I took. And if you follow this, it may not be exact, but you can probably become an overcomer too.
Right. I love that. I love that. And, because I'm a writer, and all of the books that I write have a message, basically. And really it was a message that was given to me. And so I'm just like, well, and this is what helped me to come through and to get better. So now I'm just sharing it with you. So, you can duplicate it. And
yes.
For the same thing, because when I told you I cried most of my pregnancy, I actually had postpartum depression afterwards. So I was like seriously depressed, and it was hard. And that's why my very first book came out of Just a Little Talk with Jesus, how he helped me fight the battle of depression. So I do understand like how when we write stuff it was helping us. We show people what we did to get out of it. So it's like we are like the same. You just like 20 years younger.
Yes, I know.
I love it. When we talked one time, you had like some challenges that you were facing as a young mother of a 2-year-old and a business owner. You want to share some of those challenges just in case there's some people out there that are going through?
Yeah, so one of my main things was like, I had a few things. So one of the things was like, okay, time, like where do I like find the time to be like this dynamic mom and also run my business, right? So I was, because I'm not doing it anymore, I was staying up from when I got up, I would go to sleep like 4 o'clock in the morning, like 4 or 5 in the morning. And then I would have to wake up again around 8 or 9 o'clock. And this was like for months I was doing this. And it was the only time that I could find to work my business, because my business is the sole provider for our household. So I have to work it, right? So I have to put in, the time. And during the reason why it was no time during the day, because I have a 2-year-old, right? And he loves attention. What 2-year-old doesn't? Like he wants all of mommy all the time. And it was draining. And then what made me realize that I wasn't really being like at my best is when I would get frustrated with him because he wanted to spend time with me. I'm like, wait, just one moment. Can you just sit there? I'm trying to post something, right? And it's like, well, something has to give, because I can't be like that. So I kind of like got him on a schedule. And I get him tired, really tired around like 12 o'clock. So I can have like at least 3 or 4 hours doing it. Because when he sleeps, he sleeps. Like if he sleeps and he's full, like he sleeps like he's a newborn. That kid sleeps for like 2-3 hours. And I'm like, yes. And I get like some work done. But if he's not full, he'll wake up in like an hour or so, But
and when we because I remember I told you, I said, Khadija, you cannot burn the candles at both ends. Some people do that, but you cannot if it's causing you to be testy with the baby, because you're not being your best self. And then I also told you, and I know a lot of new mothers do not want to hear this, Your baby does not need you.
Yes.
Your baby needs somebody's attention, but it doesn't have to be yours. So I suggested that you hire somebody, bring in somebody to give you those few little hours to yourself during the day. But I'm glad you were able to get him sleep and you were able to get some hours. But don't forget, especially if you have a little niece that's out of that's in
And
high
she
school
has
right
been,
now.
she's not in high school, but she has been watching him for me. I did take her advice. So she has been watching him, like, a little bit, like I'll come and like right now she's watching him. So that's why I can't be in the house, because if he sees me, he's still going to come to me, but she's watching him right now. So yeah, I did take her advice.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's really helpful. But because you, as a mother, you want to be everything. You feel like there's like a pressure to do everything. Like I have to do all. You don't have to do it all. Like your baby knows you're there. You give him quality time. You don't have to give him all of your time. Yeah. Because when you're not with him, you're still doing stuff that's going to benefit him. It's not like you out at the club partying.
Yeah. And you know what? I was just telling my sister this. I was like, girl, Mom be acting like I'm going to the club, like I'm hanging with some dudes. All I'm trying to do is work. She can watch him for like 5 hours for me. And she was like, girl, she just don't understand. She don't understand. And I was like, yeah, I know.
And that's why you have your sister, you have your niece and things like that. You have to utilize the people around you. I mean, because you know that old African proverb, it takes a village. It really does.
It really does.
Yeah. Anybody that says they did it on their own, I can tell them that they may have done the best that they could, but they did a disservice to themselves and their child. And like for me, being that my son's father was not in the picture, it was important that I found other men to be there so he could have that. So I made sure I put other men in our village also. You know, so I mean, I think girls need men too. I think everybody should the village should incorporate women, men, and people of different races, because it really helps your child to really be well-rounded.
Yes.
So let's talk about a little bit about some of the things that like you are teaching, you're a coach and you're teaching people how to be better them. What kind of things do you think you want to teach your child? He's only 2, but what kind of things go through your mind already as a new mother of the things that you want to instill in your child?
So right now we've been, aside from like the educational component, right? All teachers want their kid reading by 5 years old. Like, no, you got to be reading on a 3rd grade level at 5. Like, no, right? I don't try to pressure him that much with structured education, right? With the institutionalized educational part of it. But I do like, one day we'll learn colors, one day we'll learn sounds. And, I just kind of like groom him into that. But as far as like character development, like I really want to instill in him to just be giving of yourself, but don't be given to the point where you're depleted, right? So I really think that's an awesome quality, to just be a giver and not always have a hidden agenda and want something from someone, but don't give to the point where there's nothing left for you and your family, right? And I definitely want to instill integrity in him, because what's more dope than a man with integrity, right? So right now, like those are like the little things I'm thinking about, like when I'm talking to him and we're interacting, I'm like, was that the right thing to do? What should you be? And he's 2, so he's babbling back to me and saying 1 or 2 words, but I'm like, yeah, but so it's kind of like just grooming him and just talking to him about different things that's going to help him be mindful when he gets like a little older. He's like, okay, mommy was already saying that, so maybe this is something I really need to listen to,
Yeah. What about sharing, especially because he's like, the only child, and I know it's really difficult because sharing is a big deal. How are you handling that? Because I know he doesn't want to give you stuff.
he doesn't. So every, they grow so fast at that age. So I take his clothes and I pack them in a bag and I give them away. So recently I gave away like all of his like baby stuff, like his swing, the little seat that they sit up in to help them sit up straight, the little, I don't know what they're called, but their legs go through it, like, and they're usually blue or pink.
I know what you're talking
so
about.
that was in his playroom, right? And he would just go and sit in it and this and that, and he thought it was a part of his toys. So I'm like, well, I hope he doesn't see me take this. So I took that. I took some shoes that he really liked. I was just taking stuff that he didn't need anymore, he outgrown it. And the lady came to the door and I was giving her the stuff, and it was time for me to give her that blue thing. And my baby had a fit. He fell down. He rolled around. He was like, no, you're giving away my stuff. And I had to, talk with him. And I'm like, hey, Samir, you outgrown this. You don't need it anymore. Someone else needs it. You have to share things you have. So that is extremely hard. Number one, because he is the only child and he has like tons of stuff that he thinks is just his. So when he goes around his cousin that's 5 years old, he wants her stuff. So we go through this whole conversation. Samir is not yours. And he would scream and kick until he had it. Sometimes I'm like, girl, just give it to him because I'm tired. But most of the time I'm real firm with him. And I'm like, no, you can cry. It's not yours. But that is difficult. Like to teach a 2-year-old to share, that is so hard.
But keep trying. Keep trying. Yeah. And this is like the age. That's why I believe that young people, it's better for young people to have babies because, you're patient. But you have to keep, even though, like you said, he can't talk, but he can understand what you're saying. So you just keep teaching. I think it's so awesome. That age, and I told you before, people call it the terrible twos, or like I used to say, terrible toddlers, 1 through 3. But it's really not a terrible stage because it's
not
learning so much, and you get to see like every day he's learning something different. So really cherish this time and just try to continue to get your rest so you don't get too short with him. Because that's why I told you, don't be staying up all night because that is gonna test you and try you. You need some rest.
And this is true. When I tell you, I've been once I started like getting my rest and taking your advice, like I don't do all-nighters anymore. Every once in a while, like maybe once a week, I'll do an all-nighter or something like that. But you can see the difference in well, for me, I can see the difference in my behavior. Like I can see the difference in like, okay, how much patience I have with him. Not just him, like anybody that I encounter. Like I'm not so short with him. Like I'm not like, I really like, get in there and talk with him and be like, but if I'm frustrated, I'm like, look, just go. But and the difference when you have your rest and you are energized and you're ready for it.
You are. So I'm telling you, I try to tell everybody, especially when you're somebody like you the Bible, and one of the things that was important to God was rest. He saw it. He did it when he created the world. He rested. We saw it with Jesus. He rested. We all have to remember we can't feel like, oh, I'm being lazy or I'm being a bad mom because I need to rest. No, you have to rest to be a good mom. You have to rest to be a good business owner. So I'm so glad that you took my advice. We are wrapping up a little bit. So I want to give you a little time to talk about your printing business, your publishing. So talk real quick about that for us.
So what I do, I help authors to print books in bulk. So what we mainly do is authors that already have their books done, they have their book covers, they have the content of their book, and everything done, they send it to us and we send it and we print it. So we print it, you tell us, okay, first we send you a sample. So the process is you're like, okay, look, this is my size of my book. This is how many pages I have. This is how many I want. And I send a quote. once I send that quote to you, you kind of get back with me like, oh, what if I got more? Would it be cheaper? It'll be cheaper per book, but the overall cost, because you're getting more, the overall cost is going to be more, but per book is going to be cheaper. And then, once you get your sample and you see that you like, the quality of the printing and things like that, then I submit it to be printed in bulk, and you get your order within like 2 to 3 weeks. It's a quick turnaround.
It was very quick turnaround. I appreciate that. It was a very good turnaround. And the books are very high quality. You did a great job with that. So do you offer other services like for authors?
So we outsource pretty much everything. We have a designer on our team that designs the book covers for us. We outsource the editing. We don't do editing in-house. We have a few editors on our team that they do it for us. We also now, if someone needs their book to be submitted for copywriting, I do that for you. If they need to get the ISBN number and the barcode, like I do that process for them because that's easy to do. Classifying the book in the right genre and things like that. Like that's not a hard process. So we do that for them as well. But as far as designing the book, I don't do that. When it comes to children's books, it's funny because you actually use the illustrator that illustrated other books of my clients. So I was like, oh, look at that. But I outsource all of that for the illustrator, for the graphics, for regular book covers and all of that.
Okay, yeah. And so everybody out there, if you are interested in doing a book, especially if you want to have some copies of the book, because Amazon and places like that do print on demand, it's helpful if you don't want to have a lot of books, but you will make so much more money if you buy your books.
Yes.
And especially because of putting your plan, like I said, you should have a plan on where you're going to sell them, where you're going to go out, so you can know that and then on the internet, you can sell your own books online.
Yes.
Like Amazon does. You can offer, I wouldn't say offer free printing, but shipping, but if you wanted to offer free shipping like Amazon, then just increase the price of the book a little bit.
Yes.
There's a lot of things that you can do. So Khadija, where can people find you? Where's your website?
So my website is planningabetteryou.com. That's planningabetteryou.com. And then I'm also on Instagram at planningabetteryou. And then I'm also on Facebook. My name, Khadija Romney. And then if you type in Planning a Better You, it's just going to pull me up anyway if you type it into Instagram. But yep, that's how you guys can find me.
Thank you so much. And you know what? Good luck on that 2. And next year ain't going to be no different when he 3. But then after that, I promise you, after 3, it's going to change. It's going to be like, oh, then you're going to be you're going to be so happy. He's going to be independent. That's the thing. And when he's 4, he's going to be a lot more independent. So he's going to be a lot more fun. I promise you, it's going to get better and easier. But enjoy every day and every minute of this 2 and 3-year-old.
Yes, I definitely will.
Yes, and keep working on that sharing.
Yes.
So anybody out there, this is the month we're talking to mothers. So please stay with us. We're talking about motherhood. If you motherhood and mothers, new mothers, old mothers, all that, go to our Facebook group. And Khadija, go to our Facebook group, the Tribe Called Blessed, and then we can talk about motherhood. If you have any other questions, you can throw it out to the members, and we can all give you advice on, the toddler age and all that good stuff. And until next week, everybody, remember what God has done for others, He will do the same thing for you. Be blessed, everybody. See you next week.
Bye.